Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Oh, boy, I look so mess. Anyway, I can't tell if I'm live or not. So let me adjust this camera some. Okay. I think I am because I see my little thing at the bottom. My screen looks crazy. It's early in the morning, but I want to welcome anyone who jumps on with me to get ready with me. We're going to own our shift. And I am Sandra of Making Money Made Simple. Oh, this is going to be rough this early in the morning, but I'm committed to get on here at this time of day. And yeah, I'm still adjusting my screen, so y'all are going to have to bear with me while I try to get this thing together. But wanted to start my day with my YouTube family. And anyone who has watched my content, you know that I'm all about earning income that you control, generating income that you control, generating multiple income streams. And I will tell you why. This is where we now find ourselves, or I find myself. So, in April of 20, no, I'm sorry, in January of 24, I started thinking about my retirement, and I will retire in 2028, in June of 2028. And I started thinking about what am I going to do to supplement my income because I know I've grown accustomed to what I make. I don't live paycheck to paycheck. I'm very fortunate and thankful for that. But I do enjoy my salary. So of course, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do to supplement my income. And I decided quite candidly that I was going back to school because I was not intending to work at this job for 17 years, then retire and have to go work for someone else. That's not my idea of an ideal retirement. So I'm like, okay, the only thing I can do now, I have a great skill set, but I didn't want to do, I had a side hustle that I started in 2018 that generated income for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it until my mom unexpectedly passed in 2022. And that was something that my heart just left with it, and I stopped doing what I was doing. And then I was also helping people start businesses. So small business owners, I would do their LLCs, or if people needed grants written, I would write grants for them. Just the little packet that you put together when people are getting ready to start their business. That's what I started doing in 2018. Well, like I said, in 2022, that was something I chose not to do any longer, did not want to do it, said I'm not going to do it. And I literally completely stopped in April of 22. And I started teaching people how to do what I was doing. So again, I knew I didn't want to go back to that anymore. I just didn't. So I was looking for another alternative to generate additional income. And as I said, my decision was to go back to school. Didn't want to do that, and I was going back for my master's. And in Had my packet together, got my letters of recommendation, completed my application, had my transcripts ready. Everything was done, and I was going to go back to get my master's in social work to be a licensed clinical social worker. So, of course, when I learned what all I was going to have to do with the 3,000 hours of clinicals and just so much more after I got the degree, I'm like, by the time I retire, which again is in June 28th, I would have finished all of the requirements in August of 28. Then I would, of course, had to set up shop pretty much. So I really didn't want to do that, but that was my thought processes. So in like August of 24, my cousin reached out to me and she sent me a video and was like, watch this girl. It's like getting a whole college degree, all the training we get. This is an amazing opportunity. I'm like, okay, yeah, right. All right. So for 3 weeks, I did not watch it at all. And she either called or texted me one day and she was like, "Have you watched it yet?" And I said, "I promise today, right now, I'm getting ready to watch it." And I did. It was a webinar with the digital growth community. And I watched it, and within less than 5 minutes, I say it's 3 minutes, but less than 5 minutes for sure, I was sold. I said, "This is it for me. This is what I'm doing. This is my perfect fit." Because within 3 minutes, literally listening to the introduction and the way Michelle had things structured in that small amount of time, I thought this fits. It feels good. This is somewhat close to what I used to do, as in with the small businesses and getting them on the right track. I even did digital billboards for some of my clients. And I thought that surely this is in line with that. Not at all. That was so not what that was. But again, I saw the opportunity, I grabbed the vision, and I knew where I could go with this. So that is why I joined the digital growth community. And that is why immediately that night I got started. Well, that was September 16th of 24. And I set up my website and then I started going through the trainings. And I literally immersed myself in all of the trainings. And the more I absorbed, the more excited I got. So October 3rd of last year is when I officially launched my business. And that website is Embrace the Digital Life. So that's where I originally started. And within 11 days, I had my first customer. So I made my money back within 11 days of joining this opportunity. And well, not joining, of launching my business on October 3rd. So I had my first customer October 14th. And that was someone in the Netherlands. Because of the content I created, apparently something resonated with that individual and they purchased. So I really didn't. I didn't expect it to happen that quickly because I'm still learning and was so enthused. I'm a lifelong learner. I just didn't want to go back to college to officially be in the classroom. But what I got from those 2 weeks of digging in as much as I could, learning on my time and my terms, going through the modules, learning more and more about this business, jumping into live and interactive training where I could ask additional questions about what I was learning, just trying to understand it a little bit more, being a part of a community where if I typed in a question or if I had a concern, I was answered immediately by multiple people. So that was the kind of support I got right off the bat. That is the kind of support we get right off the bat. So you don't have to be fearful about what you're stepping into because you literally have an entire community backing you and willing to help you along the way. So, a phrase that Michelle loves to use is you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And that is literally 100% true. There has not been one day when I've had a question or a situation pop up that I've not been able to receive immediate assistance and guidance, serious guidance. But like I said, we have live interactive training. You can get one on one mentoring. You join other communities where you get even deeper dives to learn how to manage on social media, to build your channels, to manage social media the right way. Instead of being a content consumer, you learn to be a content creator. Now, do I call myself a content creator? My mind does not wrap around that because of people who are literal content creators, and that is what they do. That's their life. I still have my 9 to 5, and I will have it for 2.5 more years. And I adore my job. But this is positioning me to not have to worry at all about supplementing my income. As a matter of fact, I am confident that the income I currently have working for someone else, having my check controlled by someone else, the income that I'm generating through a job and a boss, I am so confident that I will exceed that on my own. Have absolutely no doubt whatsoever. And I'm that confident because in 1 month's time, being in this program, using the skills that I learned, using the skills that I'm constantly learning on a daily basis, because we are literally able to constantly learn, to constantly be poured into by members of our community, by our founder and business mentor. She goes live every Monday. We get additional training based upon what program you join in, based upon that training, and that is the Legacy Builders program. So, based upon your level, you get additional training. Plus, she offers so much more that is a paid service, but you have that opportunity to do masterminds with her. So the sky is literally the limit as far as our being equipped to do this business and to run it properly. The sky is literally the limit. You get out of this what you put into it. So I have absolutely no problem consistently investing in myself so that I can get better and be better for those I'm trying to reach. I'm literally here to be a servant. I am wanting to share this opportunity with so many people that anything they're dealing with, anything they're facing, if it's heartache, if it's hardship, if it's financial concern, if it's economic devastation, I am wanting to share this opportunity so that they can control their own financial future, their financial stability. They can control the income they generate. That is such a great feeling. Now, has it replaced my current salary? No, not at all. But I know it can because it's done that for so many. So if I didn't see it already in operation, then I would have a concern. But we have 126 six-figure earners in our community right now, one multimillionaire, 21, I think was the last count, 21 individuals who are now self-made millionaires in South African rand. So people who did not ever in their lives see their lives shifting, those who decided to own their shift and move into this opportunity, it has been life changing. People have been able to move into different zip codes. They've been able to pay their children's school tuition up in advance for a year, couple of years. So mothers, and that's Cecilia. She is one of our community members. She was the first South African millionaire and has brought so many people into this space because of her determination to reach others and share this opportunity. But she said she had a pray car when she was sharing one day in at one of our trainings. She said she had a pray car, and I'm like, what the heck is a pray car? She literally would pray each morning that it would start, and because she just didn't know, she couldn't afford anything else. Where she and her daughter lived was not where she wanted to live. She had dreams of living near the water. So this opportunity literally was life changing for them. She said she pays her daughter's school tuition a year in advance. She has now moved, changed zip codes, and the life she not only that she's able to live, but she's able to give her daughter is something that has never ever been imagined for her. She dreamed of it. She just never imagined she would be in a position to do what she's always dreamed of. So that's the kind of opportunity we now find ourselves in, and I love it. And I've mentioned that in June of 28, I am going to retire. I also intend to fully retire my daughters. My girls have dreams of being in business for themselves. They have ideas of how they can serve the community with the businesses they want to establish. So when mama retires, my girls will also retire. Now, they're going to be earning their own salary, but I will pull them out of the positions they are currently in so that we can pay the bills for an entire year or however it longs to take them to get established and to start generating income on their own. I got that because I know I will be able to do that for them. So that's my goal, not only to retire myself, but to also retire my daughters because I want them to be able to do whatever it is their hearts desire. They're not going to be able to live off of mama, but they will certainly be able to start their own business. So again, that is why I got into this position, and what I've been able to achieve thus far has, for me, been mind blowing. Like I said, I started October, officially launched October 3rd of 2024. And I get a good stretch of vacation for the holidays each year. So one day on my way home from work, I stopped at a red light, of course, and I happened to pay attention to the billboard that was right across from me. And I'm just, as I'm at the red light, I'm watching the advertisements pass for company after company after company. So it hit me, and I'm like, those companies believe in advertising. I see that. And I, like I said, I created a digital campaign for a customer. So I know how costly those digital billboards can be. And I'm like, if they believe in promoting, let me reach out and see if they would be interested in promoting so that they can reach a broader audience. Because what you understand is when you have a digital billboard, you've got about 8 seconds for someone to see it, absorb it, write down your information, and reach out to you. And if they pass by that billboard consistently, then they'll get accustomed. But what I had to do in order to see who was on there, I turned around and went up and sat on a hill so I could get a good glimpse of the billboard. And I wrote down literally every company that was on that billboard. And then the next day, when I came home from work, I just wrote from the city I work in to where I live. I would jot down names, or I picked up, yeah, I did. I picked up my phone and I would record the names of the companies and their contact information. So at that time, I knew my weekend was going to be spent reaching out, doing emails, reaching out to those people. Now, this is not what we're taught in the community. What we're taught in our community is to get your income earning activities done in 2 hours. And depending on how many social media platforms you're on, just add 30 minutes. So if I were to be on TikTok and YouTube, then I would put in my 2 hours to do my content, reach out to my customers, whatever it is I needed to do to work on my income earning activities for 2 hours. But since I've added another platform, I'm going to add another 30 minutes to that. So if I'm on two platforms, I will actually work 2.5 hours every single day, dedicate that time, block out that time, and you literally don't have to do it at one time. So in pockets of time throughout your day, like right here, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm not up and stirring. What I'm normally doing is by 6:30, I'm doing my massages so I can get ready for today. All of my therapies that I do every morning. So I got up earlier so I could spend this time with my YouTube family. So that is my routine. I added an extra 30 minutes to it because I want to go live every single day. That is my commitment. I get more comfortable. I get out more information on my lives. So to add another pocket of time when I get off, this is 30 minutes of my time of my income earning activities. So now I have an hour and a half throughout the day to do other things to work on my income earning activity. I've already created content for today. So my content that will be released has already been scheduled for my times today: 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. Those are the times that my new videos drop. New information from me to you drops in those increments every single day. So today, what I'm going to do is work on activities that will build. I will record additional content so that I'm not flustered. I spent 3 days in bed last week, and I wound up having to recycle content because I'm committed since October 28th this year. That was my brand new mind shift. So I have been committed to posting my content consistently. I will not miss it. I felt so bad I could not record content. So I recycled content from when I first started, and I still post it. So I talked to a content creator, and they were like, "Girl, we recycle all the time. What are you talking about?" And I'm going, oh, that's a thing. So yes, and Michelle has said that, other community members have said that, because my channel is so small and I'm really just getting started. Like I said, my revelation moment came October 28th, when I decided to buckle down and say, regardless of what's going on around me, this will receive my 100% commitment. And I'm not deviating from that again. Because in the month of September, we expanded our offerings. So not only do we have our four original programs, and I'm probably all over the place, our four original programs that I joined under, which is the launch pad for $100, the $300 passive daily pay, the $600 digital mastery, the $900 legacy builders, which is where I joined. We now have a bundle pack that is $1,400. And that bundle pack allows you to go from four income streams of those four programs I originally mentioned into 10 income streams, because you get your programs, your e-learning programs, the programs that taught me the skills that I now have, your e-learning programs, instead of getting four, you now get 10, because we have launched in Spanish. So I have a Spanish website and I have my English website. And I'm getting ready to create my YouTube channel in Spanish. And my videos here will be converted into Spanish speaking videos to reach my Spanish speaking audience. So everything is lined up for us, everything is meticulously decided for us. Our mentor does not play games, she plays no games. Her vision is literally mind blowing. And I am so appreciative of this opportunity, because I'm not under her in the sense that this is an MLM, because it's not. In this business, you receive 100% of your profit. My cousin introduced me to it. My cousin is proud of me, but she does not get a dime from any of the money I earn. I've been in MLM before, where your upline receives money from you, your downline you receive money from. This is not that. We receive 100% of the profit. Like I said, in 11 days of being in this business, I earned my full investment back, and I joined under a payment plan. So, my payment plan, I had four payments before my second payment was due. I'd already earned my investment back. And it's possible. And I was brand spanking new, had absolutely no idea what I was really doing. I just followed the step by step blueprint. I did what I was told. I read it. I engaged in the trainings. I asked additional questions. And in 11 days, I made my money back. So that is the opportunity we have. These are e-learning programs. I was getting ready to go back to school. I was going back online. That's an e-learning program. So do not minimize the effectiveness of e-learning programs. The first time I heard about it was the University of Phoenix. And I'm like, how in the world are you earning a degree online? So many people did. And that's the beauty of this business. You do it on your time and your terms. When you're actually enrolled in a university, in any program that is done online, you have assignments, you have deadlines. I remember the 11:59 p.m. deadlines. You get your programs, your whatever your homework is, your assignments, you get them done. And you also have normally classmates that you're doing group projects with. So you may have to take over because somebody else is slacking. In this business, you learn high income earning skills, and then everything else is within your hands. You don't have to rely on anybody else. If you need help, you get that help, but you are building your business yourself. So, again, whatever you put in it, that's what you get out of. So, back to our four programs within the Legacy Builders program, and then being plugged into our community. Within 2 months' time, after I got those companies off the billboards, I called some of them. Every last one of them got an email from me. I reached out and I offered them an opportunity. I told them about not the Legacy Builders program in particular. I told them about the e-learning program and the skills that I've learned, how they're able to grow their business, how they're able to communicate digitally. So it's not just someone seeing your digital billboard when they pass by, but it's you targeting your audience. If you have a particular location, if you're in Florida and you want to target the entire Ocala area. I think that's a city in Florida. That's just whatever came to my mind. But if you want to target that area, you can specifically copy and paste free ads. You don't have to pay for any promotions. Now, you don't target necessarily where your social media content goes, but if you want to generate ads, actual classified ads, you can do that. Target specifically the area down to the counties. It's not necessarily a city or state. It can be the county within that city, within that state. You can get that specific when you do your copy and paste free ads method. Let me say that again. Copy and paste free ad methods. We pay for no advertising, none. Not anything we've done to build our business had to be paid for other than purchasing our program, purchasing our domain, purchasing our professional email. That's it. Three things. If you don't want to put any more money in, you don't have to. So your original cost, mine was the $900 for my program, the $29 at that time for my website, the 99 cents for my domain the first year through GoDaddy, the I think it was $72 for my Google business packet that had the entire Google suite plus my professional email. That's it. That was my original investment. I didn't have to put another dime in this before I earned my $10,000 within a 30-day block. I didn't have to put another dime into this business. And I earned that by contacting those people I saw on those billboards. I promoted myself. I promoted the e-learning programs and told them, people in their offices, if they have an admin staff, this is what they're able to start doing. They're able to reach a broader audience. They're able to target who sees their promotions if they choose to, or they can just leave it wide open. I have some companies that are product driven, meaning they sell products. So it was like the categories of products, goods, or services. Whatever it is they sell, they're able to generate a broader audience because they can send their products worldwide. Now, their customers take on the ownership of shipping, but that's fine. They no longer are relegated to their city, their country, their state, their country. I think I said, yeah, their country. They're now able to reach a broader audience, which is a worldwide customer base. So all you have to start doing at that time is create your social media outreach wherever your social media reaches. Those are your potential customers. So that's what we have in this business. For those people, out of everybody I wrote down, 29 customers said, yes, I want it. No, they didn't say they wanted the any of our products. They didn't want the launch pad, uh, passive daily pay, digital mastery, or legacy builders. What they wanted me to do was to train their staff. And that is what I did. I had two trainings in person and 27 trainings online. I made them their booklet. I'm going to show you their training manual. Those who appeared online, they downloaded their training manual. Those I taught in person, I took their training manual with me. So they have their reference that they can continue to refer to. They can also watch our social media and learn even more. We also have free webinars. They can jump on the free webinars and learn even more. So when you come into this business, your outreach is literally unlimited. It is determined by what you do. So within those 29 trainings, I made $10,000 and some change. think it may have been $10,049 or something like that. I have to go back and check my records. But that was literally within a 30-day block. Now, it wore me out because I was constantly, again, tending to my 9 to 5, even though I was on vacation. And when I went back to work, I didn't stop training. So that went on into February 8th, I think was my last training. So from December 23rd was my first one. February 8th was my last one. But when I counted the days that I went out, it was literally, or I engaged to train. It actually, I think it wound up being like 28 days because I did stack some of the trainings on the same day. So with I, it's the 10K in 30 days. That is how I push it because in actuality, 28, 30 days, that's how it was generated. But again, that was on my time and my terms, but I was able to do it. I have never in my life working for someone, I have never in my life generated $10,000 in 30 days. Never, ever, ever. Now, what I do, yeah, I got to pay taxes on that money, and that's fine. But again, that was my time, my terms, off of skills I learned within a 2 month period, off of jumping in and engaging into the community and additional trainings within a 2 month period. So, what I learned over 60 days, within 30 days, I was able to, or following 30 days, I was able to generate $10,000 and it has not stopped. So, what that did also cause, it caused burnout and it caused me to just quit. I needed to recoup. And it took me about 5 months before I made the decision to jump back in. And I did. I literally jumped back in, and a week after jumping in, I got another $900 sale. And it was so funny. My sweet Melissa, she said she saw one video on YouTube. She had been watching someone else, but she saw one of my videos on YouTube. She saw some comments made on that video from my ex-husband and our banter back and forth. And that is what caught her eye. Not only the information that I delivered, sharing this program, she saw and she thought that was my current husband. Well, I ain't married, but she thought that was my husband still because of our engagement in that video. And that stuck with her. She was looking for an opportunity to generate additional income. My one video, a little over a week after I joined again in July, caused her to purchase, blew my mind. But that's the opportunity we have available to us. You reach the person you're trying to reach, you speak to them. You know their struggles because you remember your own struggles. Now, I initially jumped into this to speak to retirees, those of us who are soon to retire and hadn't really prepared for as much as we wanted to. I've gone over my time. But what shifted everything for me and changed my focus entirely was March of this year, when I witnessed how people, through no fault of their own, lost jobs. Literally went in one morning. While they were there that morning, they were told it's over, it's done, you're gone. No fault of their own. We're talking about career individuals. We're talking about people who had consistently elevated in their positions, in their crafts, in their companies, those who had no control over what happened to them. They had no control because they were working for someone else. So witnessing that, it still didn't cause me to jump back in because I was dealing with my own changes on my own job and trying to acclimate to those changes. So when I decided over the summer that it was time for me to crank it up again, and I did, my focus was no longer building for my retirement. Literally, not at all was it a focus on me. It was 100% a focus on helping people who found themselves losing their jobs at no fault of their own. Why? Because I've been there. I have literally been there 6 times in my life. I have worked, I've had 9 jobs over my almost 40-year career. I've had 9 jobs. By the time I retire, it will be 41 years, same 9 jobs that I've had. over my professional career. And 6 of those I left because, one, I worked for an attorney. He decided to close his practice. I thought I was going to be there until I retired. We were a perfect team. I loved what I was doing. And good morning. And we were just building until he was not, and he was tired of it and ready to give it up. That was his practice. He was the one who had sole control over how long we stayed open and whenever we closed. He literally walked in one morning and said, "I'm done with this. I don't want to do it anymore." So I then went with him to a chemical manufacturing company, again working for someone else. He convinced both my husband and me to go to that company with him. Now, he closed his practice. I had no control over that. We went to a chemical manufacturing company that needed to hire people because their business was booming until it wasn't. So they needed an office manager and account executive. So, well, to do their account payable and accounts receivable. So I stepped in as their office manager doing that. I was there after I'd been there for about 3 months. He convinced my husband, we need drivers, we need deliverers, blah, blah, blah. So he convinced my husband to leave his job, where he had been, I think, for about 7, 8 years. He convinced him to leave his job. He left. And things were going great. My husband was banking, going great. And I had a very good salary. I did. So life was wonderful until it wasn't. Business started slowing down. So the first person, last person hired, first person fired, although ours was laid off. So my husband was laid off. And within 30 days, excuse me, I was laid off. So that was one company controlling the financial stability of my entire household. Our 2 babies didn't have a job, they couldn't work, they weren't bringing it in. So, yeah, there are 4 people now with no money coming in. So that also another situation, was told in 1994 that I would not have children because I had an ectopic pregnancy, lost a tube and an ovary. I know too much information. I'm sorry, just sharing. So I was told if you ever want children, that's your path. Yeah, you're not likely to have children. So when Ray and I got married, he was like, "Anybody trying to hear what Dr. Kelly is saying? I'm going to give you a baby." All right. So I got a job for an individual in her practice, to get to strictly work insurance claims. That's what I was doing. Hired to work insurance claim. The person who had the job prior, uh, skill set wasn't where it needed to be, and they had some claims that had not come in because they passed that 180-day mark. Hadn't filed a claim within 180, you don't get those funds in. So I set up a system, started getting money in. This woman gave me a $250 per week raise. Literally after I had been there a month because she saw, oh no, I'm getting this in. Yeah, everything's coming, the check is on the way, blah, blah. So 250 per week was the increase I got after I proved myself within a month. And I wasn't trying to prove myself, I was just doing the job I was hired for. Lo and behold, 4th of July, we found out we're pregnant. That's not something she placed a priority on. She just, whatever. Yeah, because the person before me, she said she started slacking big time in her job because she got pregnant. So she ain't dealing with no pregnant women. And I'm like, this is what we're discussing during my interview. And I'm like, you don't have to worry about that. A few years ago, I was told I can't have children. So we're not doing that. And as my husband said, I'm giving you babies. And he did. So 4th of July, found out we were pregnant. And when I made the announcement to her, yeah, she smiled on the outside. She gave me a little hug, pat. And yeah, but things started to shift. They started to change because I wasn't owning my own shift. And my hours went from 40 per week down to 30, 20, and 10. So within By August, literally by August, my hours were cut to 10 a week. We couldn't function on that. So I quit. Those are three instances actually where I did not have any control over what I earned. I had no control over what I was bringing in the household because I worked for someone else. That is why in March of this year, when I saw all of those people shifting from gainfully employed to you ain't got no job and no, you cannot plead your case, you're done. When I saw the heartless movement that was witnessed, I'm like, that's it. I know that. No, I don't know that feeling. I can't even imagine that feeling, but I know what it feels like to not have control over a job, especially a job you absolutely love, to have no control and no say over what happens to you when. And it was at that moment I'm like, no, I'm going to literally help people build income they control. I will not have another family going through this chaos, confusion, hurt, pain, just totally being devastated because someone else can make one decision and that one decision can completely jack up your entire finances. So that is my plea. If you find yourself in that position, if you are ready to seriously create and build your own safety net. So if something happens, you at least have something to fall back on until you can get your next whatever it is you're looking for. Or if you want to be in a position to totally control how hard you go and how much money you make, then this is an exceptional opportunity for you. We have the program, we have the community, we have the opportunity. And that is what I want to present to you. I'm going to have to wrap this up because my day for my 9 to 5 must get started. I must start my therapies. I am now a little bit late in starting those. So, if you are interested in this opportunity, if I've said anything that resonates with you, find my websites. One is makemoneyyoucontrol.com. That is my English website. My Spanish website is tulegadofinancierohoy.com. That is my Spanish website. And I also still have Embrace the Digital Life. I have it all because I believe in this business. I know what it's done for me. I know what it's going to do for me and my girls, my family. If you find yourself in that position, get with me. If you're wanting additional information, you can find all of my links on my channel. Generating income you control, multiple income streams, affiliate marketing, TikTok shop, um, learning AI tools that are revolutionary. Those are opportunities we have. Like I said, live interactive training, one on one mentoring, building your own communities. There are so many ways to generate additional income. Michelle is making 6 figures off of affiliate marketing that she does nothing with. She just has her name attached to things and she's making 6 figures monthly off of that. So we're learning how to do that. October 28th of this year is when my light bulb moment came in. I became more dedicated than ever, committed to doing what I must do in order to change my family's financial trajectory. And I'm doing that. I will not release from that. So I have thoroughly enjoyed y'all. I don't even know if anybody's on here. I can't, my screen has so shifted. Thoroughly enjoyed everyone. I appreciate anyone who is here possibly now, anybody who will see this at your convenience. I appreciate the eyes, I appreciate the attention. Get ready with me. If you're getting ready in the morning, you don't have to sit here and engage. Just turn me on and listen. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section. Any of my videos, comment on any of them. I will see those comments. If you want to know something specifically, tell me that. Tomorrow, I'm going to actually get into the programs because today was really an introduction into why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I thank y'all greatly. I don't even see how to turn this off. Literally, y'all, my screen. So I'm going to look real crazy as I navigate and try to turn this off. There's my mouse. But I thank y'all so very much. Everyone have a blessed day. Go with God. Let him lead you. Let him feed you. In Jesus' name. Thank y'all. Bye. Probably a whole lot. No, I'm not going live. That's not what I'm trying to do. Made so much, so I'll probably use that when I get home because I ain't got time to look for it.